Hi, I'm Linda, and welcome back to the Frugal Strategist. When I first lost my job back in 2008, the idea of saving an extra $500 a month felt like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops. It seemed completely impossible. My income was gone, my savings were dwindling faster than I could have imagined, and every single bill that arrived in the mail felt like a punch to the gut. I remember lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how we were going to make it through the next month. I thought saving money meant making huge, painful sacrifices like selling my car or moving into a tiny apartment or giving up everything that brought me joy. But what I discovered on my long and sometimes difficult journey back to financial stability was something that surprised me. The biggest changes to my bank account didn't come from massive, life-altering decisions. They came from small, almost invisible shifts in my daily routine. They came from habits. We often think of habits as things we need to break, like biting our nails or hitting the snooze button too many times or procrastinating on important tasks. But habits can also be incredibly powerful tools that we build intentionally, brick by brick, day by day. The author of The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg, explains that our habits are the result of a neurological loop consisting of three parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. By understanding this loop, we can consciously design new routines that lead to better rewards. For me, the ultimate reward was financial peace of mind, the ability to sleep soundly at night, knowing that my bills were paid and my future was secure. And I achieved it not by making one giant leap, but by taking 20 small steps every single day. Today, I'm going to share the 20 daily habits that I personally cultivated over the years, which consistently save me over $500 every single month. These aren't one-time tricks or gimmicks that you do once and forget about. They are a fundamental part of my lifestyle now, woven into the fabric of my daily existence. And the best part is any one of you can start implementing them today, right now, without any special skills or resources. Before we begin, I want you to think about your own daily routine. What is one small recurring expense you have that you've always wondered if you could cut? Maybe it's that afternoon snack from the vending machine or that streaming service you barely use. Let me know in the comments below. You might be surprised how many of us share the same financial leaks. Let's start with the habit that had the single biggest impact on my budget. It's the one everyone talks about, the one that's almost become a cliche in personal finance circles. But I want to break down the real numbers for you so you can see the true power of this change. I stopped buying coffee from coffee shops. I used to have a daily latte habit. It was my little treat, my morning ritual, the thing I looked forward to on my commute. A large latte at my favourite cafe cost me about $6 a day. That doesn't sound like much, does it? It's just a few dollars. But let's do the math together. $6 a day, 5 days a week is $30 a week. Over the course of a month, that's about $130. Over a year, that's over $1,500 spent on coffee. When I saw that number, I was stunned. I decided to make a change. I invested $40 in a good quality coffee maker and a reusable travel mug. Now I brew my own coffee at home every morning. A bag of good quality beans costs me about $15 and lasts for 2 weeks. My monthly coffee costs plummeted from $130 to about $30. That's a saving of $100 every single month just from this one simple change. And here's the thing, I still get my morning ritual. I still enjoy that warm cup of coffee. But now it comes with $100 extra in my pocket. My second habit is directly related to the first, and it follows the same logic. I started packing my lunch for work every single day. The office cafeteria or the deli down the street is so convenient, isn't it? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan. You just walk out and grab something. But that convenience comes at a steep price. The average lunch out costs between $12 and $15 these days. Let's be conservative and say it's $12, 5 days a week. That's $60 a week. That's over $250 a month just for lunch. When I added that to my coffee spending, I realised I was spending nearly $400 a month on things I could easily do myself. By planning my meals ahead of time and packing leftovers or making a simple sandwich, my cost per lunch dropped to about $3. That's a saving of $9 per day or $45 a week. That's another $195 a month back in my budget. Between coffee and lunch alone, I was already saving nearly $300 a month. This isn't about deprivation or eating sad, boring food. It's about planning. I actually eat healthier now because I control what goes into my meals and I don't have to rush out and stand in line during my precious lunch break. Third, I implemented a daily cooling off period for all non-essential purchases. Impulse buying is a budget killer, one of the most insidious financial traps out there. You see something online, you get a promotional email with a limited time offer, and with one click it's yours. The dopamine rush is real, but so is the buyer's remorse that often follows. I made a new rule for myself. For any purchase over $30 that isn't a basic necessity, like groceries or gas, I have to wait 24 hours before buying it. I put it in my online cart or I write it down on a list and then I walk away. 9 times out of 10, by the next day, the urge has completely passed. I realize I don't really need it, or I find a cheaper alternative, or I simply forget about it entirely. This simple habit of pausing, of putting a speed bump between the impulse and the action has saved me on average at least $50 a month. It's a firewall for my wallet. My fourth daily habit takes place in the kitchen, and it's the foundation for several other habits on this list. I started meal planning. Every Sunday, I would sit down for about 30 minutes with a cup of tea and plan out our dinners for the entire week. I look at what's on sale at the grocery store, I check what we already have in the pantry, and I build a menu around those things. This one habit has a ripple effect of savings that extends far beyond just the meals themselves. First, it led directly to my fifth habit, always shopping with a grocery list. I go to the store with my list in hand, and I only buy what's on the list. No exceptions. This completely eliminates those impulse buys in the snack aisle or the checkout lane, the candy bars and the magazines and these, oh, that looks interesting items. Studies show that impulse purchases can add 10-20% to your grocery bill. For a family spending $600 a month on groceries, that's a saving of $60 to $120 every single month. Let's call it a conservative $75 a month. Meal planning also led to my sixth habit, embracing generic and store brands. For years, I was a brand loyalist. I thought the name brands were better quality, that they were worth the extra money. But when I started actually looking at the ingredients lists, I realised that for most staple items, flour, sugar, canned tomatoes, pasta, rice, cooking oil, even many over-the-counter medications, the store brand is chemically identical to the name brand, often made in the same factory, but costs 25-40% less. A study published by CNET found that generic brands cost an average of 40% less than their name brand counterparts. By switching to store brands for about half of my groceries, I easily save another $50 a month without sacrificing any quality. My seventh habit, also born from meal planning, is cooking in batches. Once or twice a week, I make a large meal like a chili, a hearty soup, a big pot of pasta sauce, or a casserole. We eat it for dinner one night, and then I have ready-made lunches for the next 2 or 3 days. This reinforces my lunch packing habit and ensures that on busy nights when I'm tired and the last thing I want to do is cook, we're not tempted to order expensive takeout or delivery. A single takeout meal for a family can easily cost $40 or $50. By having a delicious home-cooked meal ready to reheat, I avoid that temptation. This easily saves me another $40 a month by avoiding just 1 or 2 takeout meals. Habit number 8 is to drink more water. Specifically, I stopped buying sodas, juices, and bottled water. I invested in a good quality water filter for my tap and a reusable stainless steel water bottle that I take with me everywhere. A case of bottled water is about $7. A 12-pack of soda is about the same, sometimes more. If you're buying one of each per week, that's nearly $60 a month on beverages. By drinking filtered tap water, my beverage cost is virtually zero. This saves me at least $50 a month, and as a bonus, it's infinitely healthier for my body. Let's move out of the kitchen and into the rest of the house. My 9th daily habit is to do a quick energy sweep every time I leave a room. I turn off the lights. It sounds so simple, so obvious, almost too basic to mention, but it's amazing how often we forget, how often we leave a trail of lit rooms behind us. My 10th habit is closely related. I unplug electronics that aren't in use. Your TV, your computer, your phone charger, your coffee maker, your toaster, they all draw a small amount of power even when they're turned off. This is called phantom load or vampire power, and it can account for up to 10% of your household electricity bill. By using power strips that I can easily switch off with one click, I save an estimated $10 a month. It's not a huge amount on its own, but it's effortless, and it's part of a larger mindset of not wasting resources. My 11th habit is adjusting the thermostat. The US Department of Energy says you can save up to 10% a year on your heating and cooling costs by simply turning your thermostat back 7 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 hours a day. I do this every morning when I leave for work and every night when I go to bed under a warm blanket. For an average home with a heating bill of $150 a month in winter, that's a saving of about $15 a month. A programmable or smart thermostat makes this completely automatic and effortless. You set it once and it does the work for you. Habit number 12 is to use the library. I used to be an avid book buyer. I loved the feeling of owning a new book, the smell of the pages, the satisfaction of adding it to my shelf. But a new hardcover is $25, $30. A paperback is $15. I was spending $50 or more a month on books. Then I rediscovered my local library. I now have a library card, and it's become my best friend. I can read all the bestsellers for free. I can also borrow movies, audiobooks, and even magazines. Many libraries now offer free access to digital resources like newspapers and online courses. This habit saves me at least $30 a month. My 13th habit is to check my bank and credit card statements every single morning. I do this while I'm having my home brewed coffee. It takes about 5 minutes. I'm looking for any fraudulent charges, any billing errors, or any subscriptions I forgot I had. This daily vigilance has caught several small errors over the years that would have otherwise gone unnoticed. This leads directly to my 14th habit, a monthly subscription audit. It's so easy to sign up for a free trial and then forget to cancel. That $9.99 a month seems so small, so insignificant, but a few of those add up quickly. According to a 2025 survey by CNET, on average, Americans waste over $200 a year on subscriptions they don't use. I go through my statements once a month and ask myself honestly, am I using this? If the answer is no, I cancel it immediately. I find I can usually cut at least one service every month, saving me an average of $20. Habit 15 is to air dry my clothes whenever possible. A clothes dryer is one of the most energy-hungry appliances in your home. By using a simple drying rack or a clothesline for about half of my laundry loads, I save an estimated $15 a month on my electricity bill. It also extends the life of my clothes, as the heat from a dryer can cause fabrics to wear out faster. My 16th habit is to make my own cleaning supplies. A bottle of all-purpose cleaner can be $4 or $5. Glass cleaner, bathroom cleaner, floor cleaner, it all adds up. I use a simple mixture of white vinegar, water, and a few drops of essential oil for fragrance in a reusable spray bottle. It costs pennies to make. It's completely non-toxic and safe for my family. And it works just as well as the expensive stuff. This saves me about $15 a month. Habit 17 is to combine my errands. I never just go out for one thing. I have a running list of errands on my phone, and I plan a route to do them all in one trip, ideally on a day when I'm already out for another reason. This saves a significant amount on gas and wear and tear on my car. I estimate this saves me about $25 a month in fuel costs alone. My 18th habit is to maintain my car properly. Specifically, I check my tyre pressure every 2 weeks. Underinflated tyres create more friction with the road, which means your engine has to work harder, which means you use more gas. Keeping your tyres properly inflated can improve your gas mileage by up to 3%, according to the Department of Energy. That might not sound like much, but it adds up to about $5 a month for the average driver. It also makes your tyres last longer, saving you from a premature and expensive replacement down the road. Habit 19 is to practice mindful water usage. I take shorter showers. I turn off the tap when I'm brushing my teeth. I only run the dishwasher and the washing machine when they are completely full. I've even put a bucket in the shower to catch the cold water while I'm waiting for it to warm up, and I use that water for my plants. These small actions collectively reduce my water bill and my water heating bill by about $20 a month. My 20th and final daily habit is a mindset shift, and it might be the most important one of all. Every day, I practice gratitude for what I have. This might sound a bit sentimental, a bit out of place in a video about saving money, but it has a very real and very powerful financial impact. When you are genuinely grateful for the things you already own, the urge to constantly acquire new things diminishes. You stop looking at what your neighbours have and feeling like you need to keep up. You start to appreciate the value of what you already possess. It helps you distinguish between a want and a need. It's the antidote to the consumer culture that bombards us with messages telling us we need the latest and greatest to be happy. This habit doesn't have a specific dollar amount attached to it, but it's the foundation upon which all the other savings are built. It's what makes being frugal feel like a choice for abundance, not a life of scarcity. So let's add it all up. Making coffee at home, $100. Packing lunch, $195. The 24-hour rule, $50. Shopping with a grocery list, $75. Embracing generic brands, $50. Batch cooking, $40. Drinking water, $50. Turning off lights and unplugging electronics, $10. Adjusting the thermostat, $15. Using the library, $30. The subscription audit, $20. Air drying clothes, $15. DIY cleaning supplies, $15. Combining errands, $25. Checking tyre pressure, $5. Mindful water usage, $20. The grand total from just these quantifiable habits is over $700 a month. My title said $500. And that's because I wanted to give you a conservative, achievable number that almost anyone can reach. Your numbers will vary based on your lifestyle. Maybe you already make your own coffee. Maybe you don't have a car. But the principle is the same. Small, consistent daily actions create massive financial results over time. This isn't about a life of deprivation. I still enjoy a beautiful meal out on special occasions. I still buy things I truly need and love. But I've eliminated the mindless, habitual spending that was draining my bank account without adding any real value to my life. I've replaced those costly habits with new, intentional ones that serve my financial goals and bring me closer to the life I want to live. It's about being the strategist of your own finances. You are in control. You have the power to change your habits and change your life. Start with one, just one of these habits. Try it for a week, see how it feels. Track the savings in a notebook or a spreadsheet. I promise you that feeling of control, that sense of empowerment is the best reward of all. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and join our community of frugal strategists. We're all on this journey together, learning from each other and supporting each other. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.